Good morning all. So today we would be studying about paragraph writing. Fine, paragraph writing is we connect group of sentences, fine, group of sentences that develop one main idea. We take a topic and according to the topic we frame sentences and accordingly we frame a main idea about the topic, that what we want to share about the topic, and it should be accordingly when we are saying a paragraph about a topic, and it should be connected, it should be only about that topic into a systematic manner that we are talking about. So we are going to write a paragraph, group of sentences we would combine, which would develop an idea, the main idea about what we want to say, what we want to discuss, what we want to share, so that the person who is listening to it or reading it understands it in a proper manner. And what will we do and how do we make a person understand the idea that we are wanting to share? And as we know the process, communication is a process, and with the paragraph writing we would be sharing one main idea and we should share it in a proper manner that gives a correct message. Fine. And so what are the steps that we are going to follow? What are the important points? We shall be learning all this in today's session. Now when we are talking about paragraph is much more than a collection of connected sentence. So when we are looking into the paragraph, as we said, it is to develop one main idea. We are collecting the sentence, but it is not just collecting the sentence and framing the idea. It is much more than that. Why it is much more than that? There are various points that we would take care of. So paragraph is much more than the collection of connected sentence. We are going to connect the sentence, but what is the proper way of connecting in a paragraph? Because when we are sharing our idea, a thought about a topic given or whatever we are talking about, it should have a uniformity, a systematic manner, so that what we are talking about, that one point is covered, and only then that we proceed further to the next point. It should not be what I am getting into mind, I am just writing it down. First I am talking about one point and then I am talking about something else. There is no uniformity. So that is not a right paragraph writing. The right paragraph writing has a proper systematic way. Fine. Next, when we are looking into, again it is building blocks of essay development, a useful way to think about a paragraph. About a paragraph is a mini essay. So now when we are talking essay writing and paragraph writing, these two are different. But again, paragraph writing is building blocks. Multiple paras can make an essay, a long essay, but again it is a mini essay, even we could call it a paragraph writing. But again that multiple paragraphs would make a essay. So that is how that we would go. But now what are the main steps that we would follow in this? Now when we are talking about a paragraph writing, there are three steps. One is, first is introduction, second is the main body of the topic, and lastly it is the conclusion. So now step by step we would cover that how would we work on the introduction, the main body and then the conclusion. And again when we are talking about paragraph writing, there are again, in order to write a good paragraph, we need to understand four essential points or elements, you can call it, of paragraph writing. And the 4 essential elements are: 1. Unity. Second is order. Third is the coherence. And fourth is completeness. So, these 4 elements mainly we would follow the order. Accordingly, we will go with the introduction. Even when we are writing in the body, the topic, we would follow this 4, and end will complete it with, that is the conclusion, we would complete it with again the topic. So, these 4 steps, these 4 essential elements, these 4 essential elements need to be followed during the paragraph writing. So, first let us study about the elements, so that next how would we go, step by step we would be talking about. So, now first when we are talking about unity, what is unity in this? It is again, as we said, we would be connecting, uniting different sentences, we will be connecting different sentences which would frame complete meaning. Fine. So, again how would we do it? It is unity in paragraph writing begins with the main idea, what we think, fine, what we think about the topic, fine. So, when we are first talking about unity of paragraph writing begins with the main, what we think, and that what we think is introduction. Introduction of paragraph writing, as we discussed, there is introduction, the main body and the conclusion. So, when we are talking about the unity of paragraph writing begins with the main idea of thinking. Now, we are first introducing the topic. It would now when we are uniting the sentence, we would first start with the introduction. First we are introducing the topic, that exactly what today we are going to talk about. What is the topic that we are going to discuss? So, we will first introduce the topic, what we think about the topic. Fine. So, first we would follow is this step. Second, we would again frame the sentences, combine the sentences, frame it up, because now we are going to get the main idea accordingly. So, what would we do in the next? A paragraph again is unified around the main idea, your theme, and all the points, all the essential points with the supporting sentences. So, now when we are talking about the main body of a paragraph, first we have introduced anything, even if it is essay writing or paragraph writing, we would first start with the introduction. So, as we first said, we would unify the paragraph starting. The first point is the introduction. What are we talking about? We will give it accordingly, what are we talking about? And then next we would go is with a paragraph that is unified around the main idea. Fine. Again, now what we are talking is about the main idea. So, we would go point to point accordingly with the main idea. Your theme. What are we talking about? About the theme, we would continue. So, we would start about the theme, all the essential points. Again, all the essential points, but it should come into a proper manner. It should be into a systematic manner, that what we are talking about, we should stick up to the point and continue the points accordingly. Fine. And with the supporting sentences. So, again sentences one to the other, but again it should be the sentence connecting to each other, should be about the topic, it should stick up to the point. Fine. So again the unity it is. So this is the main body that we are going to, this is called the main body of this paragraph writing. This is the main body of the paragraph writing. And next when we are talking about, so this is first is we are going to unite, unity of the sentences. Now again the order, second point is the order. What is the order that we would follow? And why do we follow the order? What is the right way to follow the order? As we said, first we will have the introduction, then the main body, and then the conclusion. So this is the order that we would follow, that is must, because when we are talking about a topic, if we don't introduce it in a proper manner, it's not the right way to start. You have just started it. How would a person understand what are you talking about without a proper introduction? So first introduce whatever you are talking about so that people understand what you are going to talk or write. What are you exactly wanting to talk about? Then we would talk about the main body. Why the main body? Because we should know every little point that is connected to what you are talking about. All important points has to be discussed, but in a proper order, in a proper manner. So the order has to be followed so that there is a uniformity of the thoughts, uniformity in what we are speaking. So the order has to be properly followed, and then there would be a conclusion. You would give a proper conclusion. Like we have spoken about something, but again, so what is the result? What is finally that we want to end it up with? So there should be a proper conclusion. Till then it is not properly ended. So there should be a complete conclusion. So if we follow this order, a proper synchronization, uniformity of your thoughts, and the order is, when we look at it, looks more systematic and a professional writing. Fine. So we need to follow the order. Third point that we would take care of is coherence. What does coherence means? Coherence of idea. Coherence of idea is an essential element which must be cared for in addition to the logical arrangement presented through each sentence. So when we are talking about the coherence, coherence of idea is essential element. So why is the coherence of idea an essential element? Which must be cared for, because we are following in proper order, uniformity of our thoughts. So again, coherence means the quality of idea that we are sharing is again a most essential element. The quality of idea means the positivity of our thoughts when we are giving, when we are sharing. Let's share our positive ideas. So the coherence is very important. Again, we need to take care of our quality of thoughts, quality of words, quality of sentence. So coherence is an essential element which must be cared for in addition to the logical arrangement. Fine, we are sharing our thoughts, we are sharing our ideas, but again it should be shared in a proper manner, in an organized manner, so that it is not misunderstood and it is understood in a proper manner. So the coherence, again it is very, very important, because with coherence is the quality that makes your writing understandable. So when you are not giving quality of thoughts properly, it would not be understood in a proper manner, and there could be chances of misunderstanding, and we have to see to it that it is in a correct manner, organized manner, in a proper order, uniformly shared, so that there is no misunderstanding of your thoughts, your ideas. So the quality has to be maintained. So during our main body of the paragraph writing, where we are going to share our ideas, the coherence of writing is very, very important. Not only body, whereas even when we are introducing, it should be a very well start up. It should be starting well, so that it again gives a good understanding, a good start. So the coherence of your idea, the quality has to be maintained. Fine. Next, when we are talking about completeness, next point is the completeness. The fourth point is the completeness. Completeness, when we are talking about, what do we understand by completeness? Completeness is again our ideas, our writing, our thoughts, a paragraph writing step by step that we are going to do. It should be well developed into an organized manner, so that it gives a complete message, and accordingly even we would have a proper conclusion. How? I'll tell you. Now when we are talking about this, completeness means a paragraph is well developed if all sentences clearly and sufficient support the main idea, then your paragraph is complete. So when we are taking care of, see, the completeness of paragraph is well developed if all sentences are clearly and sufficiently supported. It is supported properly with all the ideas that you have in an organized manner, in a systematic manner, step by step. If it is supporting each and every statement and sentence properly, clearly understandable, then the main idea of yours is understood well in the sentence. It is understood well in the paragraph. Only in that case your paragraph is complete. And so even when we are highlighting this, now when we are talking about the conclusion, the next part when we take the conclusion of the topic. So when we are organizing it in a proper systematic manner, when we are completing it, we will complete our idea. When we say about a complete idea of ours being shared in a systematic manner, all sentences again complementing each other and working out with each other, again it is not right without a proper conclusion. So paragraph writing has to have a conclusion, that what did we talk about, what are we wanting to share, what are we saying, and what are the results of it. So again what does it exactly mean? And again, as we all know, all is well that ends well. So the ending, the conclusion has to be a proper complete message. So if there is no proper conclusion, it is not a complete message. So conclude every paragraph with a proper message, and what we want to say, it should be well understood and it should give a proper quality of meaning. So it is complete when the conclusion is strong enough, good enough, giving a right positive message. So again, please maintain the conclusion properly, only then it is complete. Now when we are taking the topic sentence. So first it is when we are selecting a topic or we are given a topic, we have to think before writing and form the sentences accordingly. And as we said, introduction, So when we are introducing it, it should have a good start, and further we would be going further about the topic. In paragraph writing is usually introduced in a sentence, so called the topic sentence. So what is the topic sentence? The topic sentence is the introduction. It is the topic in paragraph writing. The topic sentence in paragraph writing is usually introduced in a sentence. The first sentence that we introduce, that is called the topic sentence, because it is first talking about the topic. What is it? What are we talking about? What is the topic? So the introduction is called the topic sentence. That is the introduction. Fine. And then, as we have already discussed during the steps, how the main body would go, the main body of the sentence, how would we write it step by step, taking care of the order, uniformity of words. The coherence is again a very important point that we would be taking care of, and at the end when we are completing it, it should have a proper conclusion again, so that it speaks about what we were talking about and what are we ending it with. It should again go with the proper coherence, even has to be maintained in the conclusion, so that it gives a complete message. If there is no proper conclusion, there is no proper message. But there is one more thing that we would be taking care of, that is again when we are talking about paragraph writing, again there are other two stages even in the paragraph writing which we should know about: the pre-writing stage and the editing stage. The pre-writing stage is when we are writing it for the first time. Let us at least think step by step, pre-write it in a rough page or so that when we are again writing into an organized manner, we would know what are the points, how to go step by step and into an organized manner. And secondly, we would take care of is the editing stage at last. Again, before closing it, we would again recheck it, every little thing, that yes, there is the correctness has been maintained, grammatical errors, sentence formation, spelling mistakes, everything during the editing stage that we would be taking care of, so that the conclusion again we would check our mistakes and end it up in a proper manner. So guys, please, paragraph writing, it should be into 100-150 words and not more than that. So accordingly we would be sharing our ideas into a proper manner, following all the steps that we have learned today. So I hope you have a happy writing. Thank you and have a great day.